Hello, pre-algebra students. Mr. Rivers here. We've had some technical difficulties over the past couple classes, so I want to record today's lesson just in case we have some technical issues. I'm going to post this to YouTube and then provide the link to the video on my Google Classroom, which you've already found this video, obviously. But in the event that you are not able to hear me or we have some sort of connectivity issue, you can still get today's lesson. So this is the lesson that I would be teaching in class. If you got through some of it, please skip ahead to the part that you are currently at. Don't watch the part that you've already seen. So here we go. Today we're talking about section 1.5. We are covering the distributive property. So here we have an expression. This expression is 3x plus 4 plus x. And there is a vocabulary term I need you to know, and that vocabulary term is coefficient. C-O-E-F-F-I-C-I-E-N-T. Coefficient. All the coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So see if you can find a coefficient over here in that expression. Well, looking at 3x, 3 is your coefficient. Okay? Now, what's going on between 3 and x? What operation? What's going on here? That's multiplication. So coefficients only exist when we are multiplying. So it's the number the variable is being multiplied by. 3 is the coefficient of x here. It's the number in front of the variable. Now there's another variable over there. X is the other variable. Do you see a coefficient here? The coefficient for 3x is 3. What is the coefficient for just x? Well, you don't see it, but it is there. It's 1. So much like we have implied parentheses when we are dealing with fractions and operations in fractions, so there's implied parentheses in the numerator and the denominator. When we are dealing with variables, if you don't see a coefficient in front of a variable, it is implied that that coefficient is 1. So how many x's do you see here? These are 3 x's. How many x's do you see here? That's just 1 x. Let's talk about terms. All right, well, like terms, you've probably heard this term before. Like terms in an expression, they are like terms if they have the same variable raised to the same power. Okay? So here we have 3x and we have x. We have the same variable raised to the same power. If I were to add these together, 3x's plus 1x, how many x's do I have now? I have 4x. All right, let's try another. If I have 5y plus 2y, what did we get there? Excuse me, plus 5y plus 2y, we have 7y. So we can combine like terms. Constants such as 4 and 2 are also like terms. We can combine constants as well. They are like terms, so we can combine them. 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. We can combine like terms. What if we have something that's not like terms? Like for example, if I've got 5x plus 3. 5x plus 3. Well, I've got a variable here, a variable term with x. I've got a constant term with 3. These are not like terms. Remember, like terms in an expression have the same variable. Well, this has an x and this doesn't, raised to the same power. So these are not like terms. We cannot combine them. And you see that down here when we start talking about simplifying. So a simplified expression or an expression written in simplest form has no grouping symbols like parentheses or brackets. And we're going to talk about the distributive property today. So use the distributive property to get rid of those. like terms have been combined. Okay? All like terms have been combined. These are important. We have no grouping symbols. All like terms have been combined. This is what it means for an expression to be simplified. Okay, so 14 multiplied by 12. I want you to think about that mentally. See if you can do that mentally. Might take you 20 or 30 seconds, but pause the video. Think about 14 times 12. I'll tell you where my brain goes with 14 times 12. I think about it like this. 14 times 12. I say, well, I don't know what 14 times 12 is, but I know 14 multiplied by 10, right? That's going to be 140. And then if I used up 10 of these 12, I've got to also do 14 times 2, which I know that is 28. So again, 14 times 12, I think about it as 14 times 10 plus 14 times 2. That's the same thing as 14 times 12, so that's 168. Maybe you do that, maybe you don't. So 14 times 12 is 168. Now, you can write it another way as well. 14 times, instead of what I did, 14 times 10 plus 14 times 12, we can write it like this, 14 times 10 plus 2. We're going to use something called the distributive property. 14 multiplied by 10, 14 multiplied by 10. You're going to see this looks similar to what I just did. And this is plus, pay attention to that sign, so plus 14 multiplied by 2. And when we work this out, again, we get 140 plus 28, and we still get 168. So it's the same answer as it should be. So that is what the distributive property is. We have grouping symbols, and inside those grouping symbols, we have two terms. In this case, the 10 and the 2. They're broken up by addition or subtraction, and we have some number outside the grouping symbols that we are multiplying both terms by. So 14 times 10 plus 14 times 2, and then we have to add them, and we get 168 there. Make sure you pay attention to the plus or minus here. We'll get to that later. All right, so if you want to try these on your own, use the distributive property to simplify. 12 multiplied by 10 plus 5. Do not group 10 plus 5. Use the distributive property to simplify this. Okay, well, the distributive property, 12 times 10, 12 multiplied by 10 is 120, plus, right, pay attention to that sign, 12 multiplied by 5 is 60. So we get 180, 180. Now this one is very elementary, I get it. You don't need the distributive property, but I mean, if I gave you the problem 6 times 6, you know that that's 36, right? So that's what this is. This is 6 times 6, but we can use the distributive property to see that it still works. 6 times 2 is 12, plus, don't forget the plus, 6 times 4 is 24. 12 plus 24 is 36. You're probably looking at that and saying, like, why would you ever use the distributive property there? And you probably wouldn't. But on a more complex one, like maybe the first example we saw, you might. All right. Use the distributive property to simplify each. Oh, I got 2 example 4. Sorry about that. So first example 4, second example 4. I think I skipped example 3 is what I did. But use the distributive property to simplify each of these. So pause the video now. Go ahead and try all 3. Okay, so with the distributive property, we got some variables now. 4 multiplied by x, that's 4x. Again, pay attention to that sign, plus 4 multiplied by 3, 12. Can we combine 4x and 12, yes or no? The answer is no. These are not like terms, so we are finished with that. Same thing here. 5 multiplied by 6, 30. Pay attention to that sign, plus 5 times 7x, 5 multiplied by 7 is 35x. So there we go. Can we combine 30 and 35x? No, we cannot. Those are not like terms. Constant term, variable term, can't combine them. Try this one. Okay, if we have 4x and we're going to multiply it by 2, so we have 4x and we're going to double that. Well, if you have 4 and you double 4, what do you get? You get 8. So 2 times 4 is 8x. Pay attention to that sign. Plus 2 multiplied by 9y, 18y. We have an x term and a y term. These are different variables. They cannot be combined. That's all we got there. Simplify each expression. Okay, now, how many x's do we have here? This is 1x. How many x's do we have here? 12 x's. 1x plus 12x, we have 13 x's. Those are like terms, we can combine them. Okay, 16k plus 9k plus 5k. The k terms aren't next to each other, but by the commutative property, I can rewrite this as 16k plus 5k, plus 9 plus 9. 16k plus 5k, well, that's 21k plus 9. 21k plus 9. We have a k term and a constant term. Those are not like terms. We can't combine them. So we used the commutative property here. You don't even have to like write it out again like this. Like I'm okay if you don't show that step. Let's just do it mentally here. 4y plus 2y, that's 6y. 9x plus x, that's 10x. Don't forget the plus sign, please. 6y plus 10x, can we combine this? No, we cannot. We are finished. Try the next two on your own. Pause the video now. Try the next two. Use the distributive property, combine like terms, see if you can do that. Okay, well, remember to distribute first. I did not mention that, but hopefully you did it. Distribute first. Why should you distribute first? Well, this is addition. This is multiplication. Multiplication before addition. So 22c just gets copied down. 4 multiplied by 2, we get 8. Pay attention to that plus sign. 4 multiplied by 4c, 4 times 4 is 16c. Okay. Again, commutative property. I can combine 22c with 16c. 22 plus 16, we get 38c plus 8. Next one. Again, distribute first. Distribute first. So m gets copied down. Plus 5 times n is 5n. Don't forget this plus sign. Plus 5 times 7m, 35m. Combine like terms. 1m, 35m, that makes 36m. Plus 5n. Set 2, simplify each expression. All right, try these on your own. I'll put the answers up here shortly. Pause the video now. Remember to distribute first. 8 multiplied by r is 8r. 8 multiplied by 15, 120. 7 times 2r, 14r. 7 multiplied by 10, 70. Combine like terms. 8r plus 14r, 22r. 120 plus 70, 190. 22r plus 190, those cannot be combined. Pause the video, try the next one. Distribute first, then combine like terms. The next one, you should have gotten 16c plus 38d plus 60f. Distribute, combine like terms. If you did not get what I got, try it again. See if you can get that as your solution. Next one, 6x plus 3y plus 6y minus 2x. Important factor here. That negative sign in front of the 2, that subtraction sign, that belongs to that 2x. Wherever 2x goes, that negative sign or that subtraction sign has to go with it. So watch this. If I rewrite this as 6x minus 2x plus 3y plus 6y, try that now. Pause the video. All right, we get 4x plus 9y. Can we combine these? No, we cannot. Try the last one on your own. Okay, I've been telling you to distribute first. So again, work inside out. So I distribute the 9. 9 times x is 9x. 9 multiplied by 4 is 36. 2 multiplied by x is 2x. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. Now we have an option. We can either combine like terms inside the brackets, or we can distribute the 3 into every term. I'm going to combine like terms. So the 3 stays out front. 9x plus 2x is 11x. 36 plus 2 is 38. Now I'm going to distribute. Pause the video now and do it on your own. We get 33x plus, okay, 3 times 30 is 90. 3 times 8 is 24. 24 plus 90 is 114. We cannot combine 33x plus 114, so we are finished. All right, thank you very much. Make sure you complete today's homework assignment. Thanks for your attention.